Welcome, folks, to the Independent Black Voters Speak. Know your candidates. This is Brian Harris, here to talk with one of the candidates, Kari Molnar. We're here and joined with our crew, Jason Swan. How you doing, Jason?
All righty, yourself?
Great. And Bria Wabu. How you doing, Bria?
Hi, I'm good.
Good to see you. So, again, the objective of Know Your Candidates, folks, we are going to have 66 judges that are up for election. Now more than ever, we must know who the candidates are. We must vet the candidates. We must talk to them. We must not just listen to what we see on the newspapers, what we hear, but we really need to understand who are the best candidates for the Black community. Miss Kari Molnar is running for the department-wide Clark County Family Court. And she's here to tell us a little bit about herself, about the actual position, and why she may be the best candidate for our community. So without any further ado, I'd like you to come on, Kari, tell us a little bit more about yourself, again, about the position and where you see yourself being a benefit to the community.
Well, thank you for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity, especially with the stay-at-home orders, and to be able to do this through electronic means. First of all, I'm running for Department Y in Family Court. Department Y is a new department that's opening in January, so they're extending the Family Court to 26 departments where they had 20 previously. The reason I've chosen to run is I've been a practicing family law attorney for the last 15 years. I started my practice in Florida, and then in 2007, I moved to Las Vegas, and I've been practicing in Clark County since. I've been practicing primarily family law, and I have a very diverse background because family law, a lot of people think of it as custody and just divorce, and it includes an array of areas. So it's domestic violence, support issues, guardianships, adoptions. And the problem with not getting out to the public is that a lot of times people don't vote for the judicial candidates because they have never been affected or have needed to be in court or have an issue that needs to be heard by a judge. So it kind of gets put on the wayside of the ballot, and they're like, okay, we'll just check off a box. But the reason that I've chosen to run is because over the course of 15 years, being in and out of family court on almost a daily basis, I have seen some very good judges and the things that they do in their departments. And I've seen some very poor things that happen through departments. And I think for the general public and the litigants, they need to understand that there are people out here who will give them a fair opportunity to be heard. Along with that, a lot of times, the best interest of children isn't always taken into account, it appears. So that's part of my goal, is that the best interest of the children is always going to be determined based on the facts and circumstances of each case. I want every litigant to know that they will have the same opportunity whether or not they're represented by counsel, because access to justice becomes a huge problem for litigants who don't have the financial needs or ability to pay for attorneys. And in family court, you don't have attorneys that are appointed to your cases where you do in criminal cases and maybe in termination of parental right cases. So a lot of people have a less opportunity to be heard. They don't know the system as a pro per litigant. So as a judge, you can't advise people, but you can give them the same opportunity to have their case heard and to feel like they're understood. Another thing is the process. A lot of times people are taking off work that are representing themselves, and they're sitting in a court hallway for hours, or maybe a half hour or an hour, even that much time out of a person's day, and losing wages to be sitting at court. I don't believe that it's acceptable. I think that when your court hearing is scheduled, you should be heard timely. And the same thing with decisions being made. I think they should be made on a timely basis rather than having people who are in the middle of a custody issue or a financial issue through a divorce, having to wait months to have that decision come back to them. So there's just a lot of things that I see for litigants, more so than people that have attorneys representing them, that could be changed in the family court to make it a better process. you hear so many times people's opinion of family court is very low, and it doesn't always have to be low. But the other thing is with kids, and that's my passion, is working with kids and families. A lot of times people say, well, I'm not going to get a fair opportunity because maybe I have an issue in my life, a substance abuse issue or a mental health issue or concern, maybe domestic violence. And so I'm afraid to go to court because I'm afraid I'm going to lose time with my kids. But as a judge, I don't want that perspective in my courtroom. I want people to understand that nobody is a perfect person. Everybody has issues in their life at some point or another. And I think that what they need to do is there are services that can be offered to assist people to maybe initially they're not on equal footing because of some issues. But it doesn't mean you have to lose time with your kids. There's ways to protect the kids and keep that other parent involved in those kids' lives. So I think that parents are on equal footing, but if there's issues that maybe the kids would be endangered or a parent can't make the best decisions at some time for those children, there's ways to protect them while still allowing the parents to have an equal opportunity and maximize as much time as possible with their kids.
Great. Now, it's interesting because I watched your video and a lot of this you spoke about. The independent Black voters, we like to talk about issues that are directly pertaining to the Black community. And when you come to the judges, disproportionately and unfortunately, we're 13% of the populace, but our percentage of people that are going in front of family court is a lot higher than that percentage. Many times they are the poor. Many times they do not have the wherewithal nor the finances to hire an attorney to come in. So, like you say, we need to know that we're going to have people here that are going to treat people with respect, no matter their financial ability to have a attorney representing themselves or their attempts to come in, because like you said, we need equal justice. We need fair justice for everybody, but specifically as we're talking to the Black community, I believe that we have not been given that type of respect and that type of at least level playing field, and not pre-assumptions or past having past discretions determine the outcome for future.
Correct, and I agree with you. And I think that another issue with myself running, I have only done family court, so I am aware of a lot of services out there that maybe some of the candidates who haven't had the experience just in family court are not aware of, such as the State Bar of Nevada has a lawyer referral service program. And what that is where you can call in and get referred to an attorney in different areas. But a lot of people are unaware that they also have, and I'm on the panel, so I accept clients under this basis. If you don't have the financial means, part of the lawyer referral service offers a low reduced fee where attorneys will take your case for $75 an hour, and they will represent you. So there's the pro bono department through Clark County and through the legal aid service of Southern Nevada, but the waiting list is very high, and that's where people don't have to pay for legal services at all. But there are other means, such as the lawyer referral service, that does that. But as you said, respect is huge. And I feel that a lot of times litigants, especially when they're representing themselves, they are not given the same respect level as maybe if you come in with an attorney. I don't feel that sometimes you're given the same opportunity, the same amount of time to have your case heard, because a lot of attorneys will just continue to argue and argue and argue, which goes back to my statement that a litigant is sitting in the hall representing themselves, waiting while attorneys are coming in and arguing and things like that. Another fact that causes people to not have the financial means is when you have a divorce case and you have one spouse that has now drained bank accounts and is financially strapping the parent that was staying at home during most of the marriage and doesn't have the financial means to hire an attorney. So there's a lot of issues that go into that, but there are a lot of services that are also available. I just don't know if a lot of the residents of Clark County are aware of all the services that are available to people of lower financial means.
Okay. So, again, you've had this PAC practice. What gave you the desire or the want to come in and be on the other side and be a judge? And tell me, if you hit the ground running, what are you going to focus on immediately to try to improve the experiences of family court with the litigants and the people that are having to go through this difficult time?
Well, first of all, the reason I'm doing this, let me go back a little bit. I started my own practice in 2014. Prior to that, in Nevada, I was with one of the larger family law firms, and they had a rather high initial retainer, that every case, regardless of the facts of the case or anything else, came in under one set retainer. And so one of the reasons that I started my own practice is because I was doing a lot of pro bono work and taking on some of those cases. But I thought, I really want to help people, because I feel that people should be afforded the opportunity to be helped regardless of your situation. I know it doesn't always happen, but I thought, if I start my own practice, I can take in cases on a case-by-case basis as far as what their initial retainers are going to be and things like that, and set them according to what their ability to pay is, and take into consideration different factors in each case. So that's why I started my own practice. Now, in moving forward, and why I decided to move forward and run for a judge at this time, is because of what I have seen in the last 15 years going on in the court system. And I think that I can make some positive changes. A couple of the things that I do want to immediately start is how calendars are run. My calendar will be run timely and efficiently. But again, like when I talk to people in the public, it's like I tell them what I want to do and the goals I have. But people also have to understand is that you can't change a whole system overnight. It has to be done kind of baby steps at times. But my whole thing is I've done a lot of work with kids, and if you can change one person's situation or one child or one family where they're not seeing the same thing they've seen in the past, I think that makes a huge difference. And then you just work up from there. So the biggest thing that I would change is the way that litigants are treated. In a courtroom, I want people to understand that if you come in one time and we have a bad day in court, I'm not going to hold that against you, because as a family court judge, a lot of times you're on the same case as the kids age out. So it could be years in front of this judge. I don't want somebody to come in and one time have a bad hearing or not comply with an order and get reprimanded and then feel, oh, I'm never going to have a chance in front of this judge again, because that's not true. I want to take each day as a new day and have that client feel that they can come back in and have the same opportunity and respect level regardless of what happened at a hearing 2 months ago, 3 months ago. And I see that sometimes in court, that when somebody goes in to a courtroom and something bad happens or they've done something where they haven't complied with an order, it kind of gets held against them throughout the remainder of the case, however long that may be. And I don't want people to feel that way.
Okay, great. Let me ask you something. First of all, give everybody your information again.
Sure.
Your full name, the department, your website, everything.
Okay, so I'm Kari Molnar. I'm running for Family Court Judge, Department Y. My Facebook page is Molnar for Clark County Judge, Department Y, or maybe Molnar for Clark County Family Court Judge, Department Y. My website is Molnar, MOLNAR, for FOR, Judge, JUDGE.com. And my email address is Molnar, MOLNAR, the number 4, judge @gmail.com. And I welcome people to actually ask me questions. I've had people come into my office or call me to ask me questions about what I intend to do or my positions on certain things. And I'd like more people to get on my Facebook and ask me or tell me what they're not happy with. I've been a litigant in family court, so I've kind of seen it from both sides. And it's a whole different experience. It's a scary experience. When you go through a divorce or a custody case, you feel like you're losing everything. And so then to have to go to family court to sit in front of a judge, it's scary. And you don't have anybody. So I welcome people to put on my Facebook or to contact me and let me know what they would want to see changed to benefit families that are going through the family court system.
Okay, well, we're going to hold you to that. Folks,
Absolutely.
this is the Independent Black Voters on Facebook. We believe that our vote, our agenda, we believe that we must be educated voters. This will be a very unique voting cycle for the primary due to the coronavirus the majority, if not all, of the voting will be by mail. So I wanted to stop a second and tell everybody, please take the time to first be informed as a voter, and to secondly, to make sure you don't discard your ballots. You need to take those ballots in, you need to look through them, and you need to vote, and vote on all of the judges. Vote on your state assembly, but be a knowledgeable voter, folks. It is very important going forward after this virus that we have the right people in place. It is very important that we are educated voters. So that is why the Independent Black Voters are doing a series of Know Your Candidates. We are at this time just giving you a chance to get a glimpse at the candidates that want to talk directly to us about our issues. So again, I encourage you to be prepared, and again, to vote, but vote with an agenda, and vote now, not later. Do not let that ballot sit on your table until it's discarded. Do not let it sit on the table because you're used to going out to vote. It is very key that we have a lot of people vote, and that they know the candidates, they know their agendas, and we vote. So, Kari, I want to thank you again. We'll try to get you back on. We ask you to join the Independent Black Voters on Facebook and let us know who you are. Okay?
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for giving me this opportunity. And again, if anybody has any questions or anything, or wants to contact me directly, I am more than welcome to talk to anybody at any time.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It was nice meeting you, Kari, as well.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you also.
We'll be in touch.